All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're literally going to flip the script on how you view human consciousness. Seriously, we're tearing down the whole idea that your awareness is just some mystical, abstract mystery. Instead, we're going to examine it for what it truly is, a highly precise, self-correcting cybernetic protocol. So if you're a practitioner ready for some deep internal mastery, get ready to look at your own mind and body as a programmable circuit. Let's get into it. So what exactly are we analyzing today? Well, it's called the 013 Phoenix system. Think of this as a biosymbolic software suite. Its entire architecture is specifically designed to transition the human organism away from being just passively reactive and actually upgrade it into an engine for intentional reality design. Basically, consider this a technical briefing for your own internal operating system. I want to set the baseline right out of the gate with this exact quote from the source material. Your consciousness is not an abstract mystery, but a precise clockwork mechanism. Boom. We're stripping away all that fluffy spiritual ambiguity right here, right now. If you want sovereign physical ability, you absolutely have to understand the mechanical paradigm of your own hardware and software. Okay, so here's our quick system overview manual for today. We're going to cover 1. The structural engine, 2. The inner trinity, 3. Somatic diagnostics, 4. Software automation, and finally, 5. The prime vessel. Let's jump right into section 1, the structural engine. This is our foundational hardware. So this hardware operates through a matrix known as the 14 keys. Now, it's crucial to understand that these keys are not some vague, mystical points in space. They are literal, numerical gates that actively govern energetic physics. Take a look at key 0, for instance. This is the source. It's the non-local origin point that actually initiates the energetic cycle of unmanifest potential. Then, as energy moves through the circuit, it hits key 7, known as the throne, which acts as your sovereign central governing authority. And finally, it reaches key 13, the creator. Key 13 is absolutely critical because it acts as the absolute grounding seal. It locks that energetic current inside the physical body and completely closes the circuit so you don't leak energy. All right, with the hardware mapped out, let's look at the operators. Section 2, the inner trinity, basically your operating system. You've basically got 3 primary forces at work piloting your vessel. First, the spirit. That's your actuator. It provides the thermodynamic willpower and the actual kinetic drive to get things done. Then you have the soul. The soul is essentially your historical archive. It's the database storing all your memories, ancestral patterns, and your trauma records. And sitting right there in the center, governing from key 7, is the self. The self is your central processor, the objective observer that interprets all this real-time data. Now, here is where things get really fascinating. What happens when these operators fall out of alignment? The sources call this the half-circuit problem. Think about a sleeping self. When the self is literally asleep at the wheel, the whole system crashes into what's called soul dominance. This means the soul's trauma archives completely take over, leading to this blind, habitual reactivity to whatever is going on outside of you. But on the flip side, when the self is awake and actively governing from key 7, you maintain an aligned circuit. You aren't just reacting to old, outdated data anymore. You're actively designing your reality. It's a total game changer. So, how do we spot these system crashes? That brings us to section 3, somatic diagnostic logic. This part blew my mind a little bit. The source material points out a direct structural isomorphism here. Basically, they compare the Esoteric 013 protocol directly to an automated clinical microbiology platform, specifically the BD Phoenix system used in modern hospitals. It's wild. In a clinical lab, the BD Phoenix takes pathogen isolates as input and detects bacterial mutations or resistance profiles to optimize a very specific therapeutic intervention. Well, the 013 Phoenix protocol does the exact same thing, just for your consciousness. It takes ancestral trauma records from your soul archive as the input, identifies energetic blockages and somatic resistance, kind of like psychic inertia, and then applies protocols to break that inertia down. Both systems, at their core, exist to identify systemic resistance and restore equilibrium. Okay, so you've diagnosed the resistance, now you have to reprogram the system. Let's get into section 4, software rules and automation. This is where you essentially write a compiled block of code for your mind. The Phoenix system programs interventions using linguistic compression. It's a very precise, mechanical sequence. Step 1, you formulate your intent. Simple enough. But then, step 2, you apply Rule 5, which is the compact rule. This is literally a data reduction algorithm where you strip out all the vowels and duplicate consonants to refine your spoken intent down into core energetic vectors. Then, step 3, you apply rule 4, the master amplifier rule. You take that compact sequence and wrap it in key 12, which initiates the flow of source energy, and key 13, which, remember, is the absolute somatic grounding seal. This wrapping sequence completes the electromagnetic circuit. And what you get from that process is this visual output right here, the compiled code. This is the sigil trace chart. By physically tracing this circuit geometrically from key to key across the 013 matrix, you are entirely bypassing the slow, clunky analytical filters of your conscious intellect. You are effectively writing high-level commands directly into your subconscious operating system. Let's move a step further and see how this builds. This AZ matchup chart shows you exactly how those compressed phonetic characters from Rule 5 are mapped directly onto the numerical gates. You're translating a linguistic intention into a numerical vector. This automates the flow of energy so your physical body can execute the command without your conscious, doubting mind getting in the way and messing it up. Which brings us to the whole point of this system. Section 5, the prime vessel. To put this all into perspective, the sources compare a fully aligned biological organism to an advanced robotic control architecture, specifically something like the Carbon AI platform. Think about it. A highly advanced robot doesn't individually calculate every single micro movement of its joints to walk across a room. Its core operating system takes a high-level command and automates the complex physical motion through sensory motor feedback. That's what you're doing here. By compiling your intention through the compact and master amplifier rules, you convert your conscious willpower into an autonomous, self-correcting program. You literally transition your biological body into a prime vessel, capable of spontaneous, almost supernatural physical capability. So we're going to end on the supreme law of manifestation. This is the final operational command of the 013 Phoenix system. Attention directs, emotion fuels, conviction sustains. Listen, understanding the mechanics builds your vessel. Understanding the emotions charges that vessel. But overstanding from the throne is what governs it. So I want to leave you with this final practical question to chew on. In your own day-to-day life, are you just dissecting reality? Are you merely feeling it? Or are you actually governing it?